Good God, this story is just like one of those like soap opera, like after school crime special movies or something. This is just crazy. Let's read it and we'll go over it as we go through it because, I mean, wow, there's a lot going on here. So the cult mom, Lori Vallow, in case you don't know, just a brief backstory. She had two children. They went missing. She got married with her new husband, who's a doomsday seer, prophesier, whatever you want to call it. Uh, she's not talking about where her kids are. Well, finally, she's been arrested. But let's read this. Cult mom Lori Vallow is arrested in Hawaii over the disappearance of her children as her doomsday author husband watches on helplessly. Lori Vallow was arrested in Kauai Thursday. She is currently being held on $5 million bond. Her arrest comes as cops continue to investigate the disappearance of her children, Ty Lee, 17, and JJ, 7. Lori failed to comply with a court order to produce her children before authorities on the 30th of January in Idaho, and then she fled to Hawaii with her doomsday husband. She's also being suspected in the suspicion over her brother's death and the death of another individual. But let's read this. Photos of the moment cult mom Lori Vallow was taken into custody in her rented Hawaii apartment on Thursday, months after the disappearance of her children, have emerged. In the images, Vallow is seen being frisked next to a cop car while her husband, Chad Daybell, watches on. She was wearing a black sweater, floral yoga pants, and flip-flops. She was wearing black sweater, floral yoga pants, and flip-flops. And she did a pretty little spit. Jesus, what? And all of a sudden it turned into a fashion show. After being patted down, she took her Jevochois purse and did it. No, I'm sorry. I figured if we were doing a fashion show, I mean, after being patted down, she was taken to a patrol car to Kauai Police Headquarters, where she remains in a cell, awaiting her first court appearance to determine if and when she will be extradited back to Idaho, where the charges were filed, and where her two kids, JJ, 7, and Tylee, 17, were last seen alive. And nobody has seen or heard nothing from them. Nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. This is such a bizarre case. Neither of the children have been seen since September, and that doesn't bode very well. Statistically, within the first 48 hours is the most important part. Statistically, the likelihood of finding someone, or at least finding them alive, drops drastically as time goes on. So since September, that's a big deal. It doesn't bode well as far as the math and the statistics go. And their extended family are gravely worried for them, and I would be too. Wow. How do you... The whole thing doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't she say where her kids are? I don't know. I mean, my opinion, she's done something very bad. And my opinion, she's going to blame it on, well, the older daughter did something and I covered it up, or I don't know. Because, that's what happens. That's what they plea as. That's what history has shown us. They have been frantically appealing to Lori to tell authorities where the kids are, but she has refused. Instead, staying silent and enjoying a quiet life in Hawaii with her new husband, doomsday author, Daybell. The pair are said to be obsessed with the end of the world and spirituality. Now, what if the end of the world and spirituality and this and that, and she... I don't know. I mean, with these religions, there's all kinds of crazy things that you hear. I mean, there's so many different angles on this. There is the idea that perhaps in order for her to start her new life with her new doomsday husband, Daybell, that she needed to start fresh sort of thing, and she deleted her kids. Or who knows? The whole thing is just crazy. They got married in a beach ceremony in November, 6 weeks after the kids vanished. That doesn't make sense either. Come on now. Your kids are vanished and you're going to get married? And you're going to go live in Hawaii and you're not going to say anything? Doesn't make sense. The arrest warrant is for a failure to comply with a court order to produce JJ and Ty Lee last month in Idaho. And I kind of wonder, why did it take them so long to arrest her? I mean, the kids are disappeared since September. Uh, I'm not a proponent of arresting people willy-nilly, but my God, from September, October, November, December, by December, as the authorities, I'd be like, hey, we need to figure out what's going on. If not earlier, and probably within like 3 weeks, I would have been like, hey, man, something really iffy is going on. This is a long time. Why? I don't understand why it took him so long to arrest her. That doesn't make sense to me. And the longer you wait, the more likelihood that things are going to go sour. Lori has also been charged with desertion, non-support of dependent children, arrests and seizures. Arrests and seizures? She's been charged with arrests and seizures? I don't understand that one. What is the charge of arrests and seizures? She's being charged with making arrests and making seizures? Seizing other people's property? What? Resisting or obstructing officers, criminal solicitation to commit a crime, and contempt of court, willful disobedience of court of a court process order. Where the children are remains a mystery, but it puts Lori in custody for the first time since the saga began. Some of these charges don't seem to make sense. Criminal solicitation to commit a crime. So then why didn't they arrest her earlier if they have... Okay. Along with JJ and Tylee's disappearance, she may have to answer questions about the suspicious deaths of her brother Alex Cox, who died in December in mysterious circumstances, and that of her estranged husband Charles Vallow, who Alex shot dead in July. So, Alex Cox, her brother, shot dead her estranged husband Charles Vallow, and then Alex Cox died under mysterious circumstances. Then her children go missing, and she gets married 6 weeks later to her doomsday prophecy new husband. What? Jesus. Unbelievable. Wow, no, completely believable. Madison County prosecuting attorney Rob Wood said in a statement that the complaint filed by the prosecutor's office alleges that Lori abandoned her 2 minor children, delayed law enforcement's attempts to locate her children. Then why didn't they pick her up earlier? I mean, the maximum sentence on each count of desertion of a child in Idaho is 14 years in prison. In a statement, Kauai Chief of Police Todd G. Raybuck said, "First of all, we wish to thank the public for the massive outpouring of concern regarding this case. We also want to thank everyone for their patience while investigators worked diligently to comprehensively gather everything they needed in order to obtain this arrest warrant." Holy crap, since September. I would be, if I were the family, I would be just, I'd be devastated. I'd be like, since September? Since September. What if we find out these kids were like locked up somewhere and they had like limited resources, limited water, limited food, limited oxygen, whatever. Those kinds of cases have happened. There was many years ago a girl that was buried in the ground and they had barely gotten to her, and there was a contraption that was designed to get air in, but the batteries had worn out and things like that. And yeah, I mean, things happen. What if time is of the essence? It's crazy. Since September. That's crazy. JJ's aunt, Ani Cushing, said she was relieved by the arrests and hoped Lori would be held accountable for whatever has happened to the children. "I want to know where JJ and Tylee are. I feel you. I feel confident these charges could stick and she could potentially go away for a long time," she told CBS This Morning Friday. But I'd want to know where the children are first. I mean, who cares if those charges stick? I want to know where the kids are. I want to know if they're okay. I want to know if they're all right. It comes after weeks of pressure from the children's other relatives to arrest Lori or force her to tell them where the children are. A hearing date where Lori will be given the opportunity to waive or fight extradition to Idaho is yet to be determined. Shortly after she was arrested, her grandparents of JJ spoke to KHON2. Larry and Kay Woodcock Yeah, Woodcock. Both said that they are very, very happy that Lori has been arrested. How sad is that for your family members to be so happy that you're arrested because you have abandoned your children? I mean, evidently you've abandoned your children. They're not with you, and you won't tell anybody where they are, and everything points to really bad things. The pattern is not very good. I don't see a good outcome. I don't see a good outcome in this. But crazy. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100% crazy. Since September. Wow. Wow. It's horrible for the family members. That's what I got on this one. I will see you guys on the next one. I really hope that we find these kids okay. I really do. I love you guys, and stay informed.